important. Take it easy on myself and know that I, believe in myself a little bit more. So
yeah man,
definitely.
You really have, and the story is great, and I can't wait to get to that, man. So we got some people real quick. Jason Grimes says good morning. We got Facebook user. I'm not sure. I'm gonna guess there's a few people that might be Michael Mills. If it is, love you. It could be anybody. I love every one of y'all for being here.
All.
Paul Machine, another New Yorker, bro. Another New Yorker, straight up, yeah. Much love, Lou and Freddie. Sup. And then he says down here, thank you for your service, Frankie.
Yes. Hey, man, I appreciate that. I really do.
No doubt about it. He's also a serviceman himself. So we appreciate your service too, as always, my friend.
Sure.
He's a great guy. I mean, we just interviewed him last week. Great interview, great times. Folks, this morning we had planned to interview some of
Luciano.
That's right, Mr. John Luciano. And we're rescheduling it for next Tuesday morning. We're excited to do that interview with him. So make sure you guys check that out next Tuesday. But let's get on this tip, man. Number one question. It's my favorite question. I love to ask everybody. It's your purpose. It's your why. Every day when you wake up, when you quit your job, what was your drive? What made you say it's time for me to step up and be the best version of myself?
I think it was always my kids. I had my first son, I was just going into the military when I had him, and
right.
It's hard to maintain a marriage and be there as a parent when you're constantly, out of the picture, deploying or working. And it didn't take long for me to realize that I had to be with my children. It didn't, I was always deployed, and that was part of the reason why I didn't stay in, because I felt like I really wanted to be there. And so I started making decisions, career paths, trying to do things that really got me to spend more time with my son, and now my sons. And so everything that got me to change my careers, that got me to get into podcasting, got me into being an entrepreneur, has really been about trying to create enough wealth so I could have more time with my children, so I could create more experiences with my children. So I definitely have to say my kids are my why. There's not a decision I make during the day that doesn't have them involved some way, shape, or form.
Man, hit the clap hands thing part. Hey!
Yeah. Man, love for your children can take you so far. And when you want to show them, and he has 3 young men that he's trying to show how to become older men, right? How to do it the right way, and take, and believe in yourself and do what you love doing. I hear what you say to these kids all the time, and it's right on the money. It's exactly where you're at in life, and it's at the right time. Things happen for a reason. A lot of times, oh man, I wish I would have done it when I was younger. But if you did, you probably wouldn't have done it as good. You need these experiences, you need these failures in life, you need these hurdles in order to, for one, learn how to get over those things and those hurdles, but also 2, to have those experiences to feed on for later, and 3, to show your kids what not to do sometimes, right? There's so many reasons why having these things and these challenges are great, but it's also confidence builder, because that, hey, I just didn't work out, but I'm still alive.
Exactly.
I'm still going, and I'm still going strong, man. So having your kids there will help you keep pushing. Like sometimes you'll fail and you're like, maybe I'll do it later, but you're like, no, I got to do it right now. I want my kids to see you knock it out. You get it done.
Absolutely.
And you work your butt off, man. And you're doing it. So, I met Frankie, like I said, at a dealership. He came out of sales. I think the first one he ever did would have been a tent sale. I'm not sure. I think so. But he got to travel with us for a few months, basically summertime. He was in college at the time, working on his college education. So he was working on that, getting it going. And then he decided, hey, it's time for me to go ahead and, leave and go back to school. Of course I was trying to be like, oh dude, you don't need to do that, bro. You can sell cars, you make all kinds of money. But what I respected was, he's like, no, this is what my goals are. This is my plan. And this is what I'm doing. And I felt him on that, man. He saw, and he knew he could make money, but at the same time, once again, he talked about his kids. He could stay home. I was traveling all over the country, right? We were all over the place. So now he got to stay home with his kids, be around his kids more. He was more stable in a town. He was getting ready to graduate, finish up. I believe it might've been his last semester or maybe last year of school.
Yeah,
it was very close. That's why you were like, I got to just finish it, man. And I was like, I'm with you, bro. Go knock that out, finish that goal, because you don't want to regret not doing that. And then 2, he was going to get a great job with the VA at the time. So he had an opportunity to go work for Veterans Affairs, he's a veteran, but at the time it seemed like awesome, right? Then he starts doing that job, and he's doing it for a while, but then he's realizing that he's not working on himself anymore. He's just at a job, and it's almost like just punch in, punch out. And that was it.
Exactly.
So I'm very proud of what he's done, and having that why is the reason why he said, I'm not going to do this punch in, punch out no more. Just like he mentioned a moment ago, which is great. So but I'm proud of you, bro. I know what you're doing. And I love that you love your family, and I know it's true. So he's not just talking and you throwing his gums out there. He's really meaning that from his heart. So that is what it's about, man. Having a good why.
Yeah, I mean that's firm. The anchors that your kids become to the grounding that it takes for you to be able to build anything, lasting,
right,
is what ultimately is what creates great fruit. An apple tree, an orange tree isn't going to start really producing good fruit until it has firm, deep, stabilized roots, right?
Yep.
It knows this is where I'm
Facts.
supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And you digging those roots, like Fred was saying, you getting over those hurdles, not just so that you can learn them, but really you probably ran into a lot of hurdles because you had to figure out how to show the ones behind you how to get over them. You know what I mean? You probably helped your kids over way more hurdles than you've gone over yourself, but you didn't know how to go over it yet until you were guiding them. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
And that is something that cements a foundation for you to launch into anything that you want to launch into. And them, right? We're sitting back here on Fred's porch, and I feel the visual, right? But I see the trampoline, right? And the trampoline's there, but it's on a plateau that has been cut out that's in line with the foundation of the home, right? And in order that it does have the balance, so that it can leap and not somebody go flying, down the hill, right? And roll into the pond, right? It has to have its level playing field, and you've dug out the way for your kids to go. And ultimately that foundation that you're digging out that may not have been dug out for you, may not have been dug out for us. You're getting something that's helped us even launch our platform from the level that you set, for podcasting, for getting your voice out there, for just sharing your heart, having fun doing
what
it.
I loved about it, not to cut you off, what really got me pumped up about being on a show was like, it was so different than anything I've ever seen, and it was just like, and it works. I was like, man, I can do something fun too. Why am I so worried about being like, the natural, like the Howard Sterns, and which is fun too, don't get me wrong. What I mean is I don't have to be like that. I could be me. I could be authentic, which is what he was doing. I could see that Frankie and, and Raul, JB, and then Chris, but, Chris C Money, when C Money was on the show, they were doing, it was their flavor. It was them authentically. It wasn't fake, and which was great, and it was, to me, it was fun, when just sitting there talking, jamming, we're talking about life. They had different sections. They had a way they were organizing it, and then they would edit it and they would send it. I mean, all that stuff got my mind just like, this is really fun. It's growth. It's something that you can do to help yourself and your mind feel like, hey, I'm doing something, I think while he was working at that other place, he was going through the same things that I go through sometimes, is that, hey, I don't feel like I'm growing. That's not what you're saying, but you're like, man, I'm stagnant. I'm plateaued in life. Talking about plateaus, right? You plateaued in life. And when you plateaued, it's okay for a minute. It's called comfortable. But after a while, comfortable gets really scary, man. You start to think, what am I doing, man? Life is not fun. I'm not growing anymore. What I'm wasting time. And as we get older, we realize how valuable time is. And we were talking, me and Frankie talked about this. It's valuable, super valuable. It's more valuable than anything you have. So when you're giving people your time, it's like you're giving them money. Right. So
it's more valuable.
It's more valuable than money. Right. So when somebody, and Frankie talked about this, when somebody comes to you, and I love you think about this way, is that when somebody comes, like when I go visit him and I'm there and I'm hanging out with Frankie in Orlando and it's during my vacation, he knows that's my time and he knows how valuable. But same thing, I feel the same way. He's giving me his time that night to come over, hang out with him, chill. He's inviting me in his house, giving me food, drink, whatever I want. Right. We're having a good time. We're just jamming, right? And it's like it's my house, right? So he takes his time to do that. That's so valuable. It's more than any dollar could ever mean to me, right? Same thing when he sees me, I want to give him my time. I want to make sure that he gets that, and that to me, it's so valuable. So when you have people in your life that are willing to sacrifice even a 5-minute phone call to just help you with something, or they reach out to you and they ask you, hey, how are you doing? Don't just say, I'm doing good and let it go. But hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing? Spend time with that, because that, even just that moment of them doing that is valuable, and it's key. And I love that you broke it down that way, and I'm glad that you see it that way, because it is true. So just remember that every moment that goes by is never going to be replaced. It's gone.
Yeah. It's gone. If you want to know how someone feels about you, see how much time they're willing to give you, and you'll know for sure.
That's exactly how he said it.
Yeah, where you sit in their list of priorities, and that doesn't mean somebody that doesn't necessarily feel like they have a lot of time doesn't mean that they don't care about you, but they're maybe their mind's in a different space. But I always try to think about that, especially for myself. Friends, family, those that are important to me. We get so wrapped up in work and bills and just all the other things that we look at that we call important, but those are just things that we really make up. What's really important is the people you're around. And I've taken that from you guys too, watching your guys show and hearing you guys talk about friends and family and the business. So yeah, I definitely love that. You know, the Podheads has helped, you know, shout out to the Podheads, JB, like you said. We've put in a lot of time into that and trying to kind of get this message out to people that, you know, whatever your thing is, whether it's cannabis, whether it's yoga, whether it's selling cars, whatever it is, you know, if you put your heart into it, you put some real time into it, it's going to develop, it's going to grow, you know.
Dude,
so
he's so right on
just
that.
Like relationships.
So right on that stuff. And he's crushing it. And that's why, like, his show isn't just about cannabis, it's about life. He talks about things that are going on in the world, current situations, but he brings in people that, you know, are in that mindset. And that's a huge industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry that is blowing up across the country. I mean, it's going to compete with the car business like no other, you know. So there's great salespeople in it. There's great distributors in it. There's everything that you can imagine is inside that business, all the way up to the guy that's the billionaire rocking the, you know, flying the private jets. That's all kinds of people in this business. And it's a business that needs to be talked about, but he brings fun to it. Folks, go check it out. That show is amazing. It's beyond what you could imagine. And he's just really just starting to touch his potential. It's starting to get better. He's starting to produce a show. He's got different camera angles. Things are looking better. Folks, he's getting ready to start networking out there. So get ready to start watching him network and stuff, because it's going to help him blossom into a beautiful rose or a beautiful, you know, I don't know, flower. If you know what I mean.
But see what you did there.
I appreciate the Podheads. The one thing I like, and if just to tell anybody, because we're the Podheads, Podheads, and you know, originally we wanted to, you know, we love cannabis, and I'm not afraid to say that, because I feel like it's medicine just like anything else. It could be used for recreation. It could be used to help a lot of people. It can also be abused and be something negative, just like many other drugs out there. My thing, you know, our mission is really to show the world that you can partake, right? You can enjoy, whether medically or recreationally, and still be a productive member of society. You can, you know, your doctors, your college professors, your athletes, your politicians, they all smoke. Yeah, whether they like to admit it. Not all of them, but many of them do, or partake in one way, shape, or form. And that's okay. You can still be a good person. You can still be intelligent. You can still be a great business person and partake. And so that's kind of the message that we're sending out there. We talk about current events, politics, entertainment. So it's pretty much just like an entertainment radio show, but it's from that perspective.
I mean, you're actually on the radio at home too. So, I mean, this is where you're going.
WJHM102jams.com.
Check it out. Shout out to them, man. One of their sponsors. They do some great stuff. They get to come to a studio. They get to do all these things. And Frank is leading the way. There's not a lot of there's people out there doing it, but they're not doing it the way you're doing it. And that's why I want to endorse you so bad. Because
so many just get on and just like to smoke and just. That's it. I've watched them. I look at my competition, so to speak, and we don't do that. We don't just get on, smoke, and just get high. No,
that's not the point behind it. This business, it's opportunity, and it's something that needs to be talked about and cleaned up. You know, people look at it as something taboo, and taboo can be cool sometimes, and sometimes it could be really bad. It just depends on who you are. But I look at it as to me, like you said, it's medicine for people. I mean, I've tried it, you know, I've done it obviously, right? So, but when it comes to drinking or that, I prefer that, because I think that I don't ever lose control. I'm always in the right spot. I enjoy food more. I movies more, it actually helps me with my anxiety. Like, people don't know this about me, but I have a lot of anxiety. Like, there used to be a time in my life at night where I would, stay up till like 2-3 in the morning, just laying in bed, and I'd go to lay down at 11, but I can't sleep because all my mind is just constantly thinking of every scenario that went on that day, the day before, the week. And then I start thinking about everything. And then I start trying to reprocess, what was that really about? What is this about? What's that? And then I'm like, okay, hold on a second. I'm just overthinking things too much. And what it's done is helped me be able to relax my mind and be able to focus on one thing.
Exactly.
And with that, it's really, been medicine for me. I mean, real talk. It's helped me be able to become Fred, the real Fred, and be able to break things down and work harder, concentrate more, not stress out about things that I can't forgive, right? I forgive now. I'm forgiving. And I love that. So I'm always going to be able to do that. And I'm looking forward to keep doing that. But man,
whatever the commodity is,
it doesn't matter whether
it's coffee, a car, cannabis, it doesn't matter, as long as it is utilized in a way that does bring a solution, right?
Absolutely.
We don't want to just brew a whole bunch of coffee and be some crazy caffeinated, crazy guys out here, right?
Right.
And some people can use caffeine to a spot where it is it is hurting them, right?
Sure.
It is affecting them in a negative way. And people that are so enthusiastic about their car that they would pay to make modifications rather than pay rent.
No doubt.
That's a car guy to the extreme of another side where that's not a healthy relationship that you have with it. And if you smoke so much bud that you can't pay your bills and you can't take care of your kids, right? Then you've used it to the point that it's abusing you. But there is so much healing components inside of cannabis, inside of coffee, inside of giving your car a wash, right?
Inside a cup of water.
There's so much healing quality on all ends, but on the cannabis side, again, I think the reason why it's become so taboo is really just because it's so hard to control. You can grow anywhere. You can build it anywhere. You can build an infrastructure to grow your own solution to a lot of what medicine has spent billions of dollars on can be fixed in that. And the same thing with inside of a cup of coffee. There's so many healing qualities, even in having your prescribed amount per day. It helps to keep you healthy. And again, I don't think that any of those are in competition with each other, right? It's not like somebody's gonna go buy a bag of coffee over the car or over the bud, right? The correlation is that they all solve a problem, and to utilize that, especially for veterans, right? They've pumped so much medicine. They've made so many addicts out of so many veterans because of the not want to use the taboo where they could have been fixed from asthma problems. They could have been fixed from mental anguish, right?
I'm one of them. I have been, and I don't want to speak poorly about the VA at all, because the VA is a great system. But when you have bureaucracy and red tape, it makes it difficult even for doctors that care to do their job well. So I personally at the VA have been, upfront about my cannabis use and almost in a sense looked at as like a drug addict, to where they won't give me medications that they feel were, I don't know, I'd overdose on. So not giving me the treatment that they feel I really should have, just because the stigma that cannabis has. But yet they'd rather give me other medications that I know is going to destroy me from inside
and not always know what it's really going to do. We thought that this might do this and this. Let's see what happens.
So it's definitely it's a good thing to talk about. It's a good industry to be part of, and to be a voice, but a fun voice, but yet educational voice. We call that edutainment, right?
Nice.
So you're teaching, but you're having fun at the same time, and you're making people realize that. And what you do is you show that it's not the stereotypical Shaggy, oh, I'm lazy, I don't do nothing, I just want to sit around and eat nothing with Scooby snacks and stuff. That's not even true, man. That's not true at all. That stuff is such a stigma that they put out there for us. They just want us to think as a community, as a nation, that it's something wrong with it. So no, man, keep talking and keep bringing that loud and proud, man. That's good stuff. And I see you guys do the same thing with the car business. Yeah, man. So many people you're trying to change the stigma, eradicate the stigma associated with the car business, right? And that's what you're doing with the cannabis business. You're trying to show, hey, man, shout out Glenn Lundy, right? So, but that's what we're trying to do in the car business. We're trying to change it up because so many people hate car people. They think of us as bad people, and I get it. Shame on us for all those years, but at the same time, it's tough, just like it is for your business. So you got to keep working, and you just keep changing, and every day gets a little bit better. Every day, even if it's just 1%, just get a little bit better. And if you keep doing that, eventually it's going to be a huge difference. So yeah, man. Right on, what question? Are we even on the second question yet? No. We keep going. I can run about this all day long, guys. Seriously.
So because again, you inspired us on the side of podcasting, of making sure that we make it as original and as fun as possible. There's not that big of a mold that needs to be fit. I think that entire industry, everybody gets to find their niche, right? Whoever your audience is going to chase down the message you have. Absolutely. Right? And so that's why you got to put it out there and make it available. But what was it that made you want to start a podcast?
Man, ever since high school, shout out to my boy Paul Conrad, man, one of the best guys I know out there. But a good friend of mine, we used to always chat. Even after high school, we'd go to bars and just chat. And people have always kind of just listened. People have always found our conversations entertaining. And so hanging out with friends of mine, my brothers, and JB and Chris, these are two guys that I hung out with a lot. we'd get together, we'd smoke, and more often than not, we'd end up talking about some kind of, something in politics, something in entertainment, something, pretty.
We should be recording.
Yeah, pretty serious. Exactly. And that's where it was. We were like, man, we should do this. There's got to be other like-minded people out there like us. We should just record this and see what happens. And that kind of turned in from like 3 guys smoking in a garage and just shooting the shit on, hitting record to, what you see now at the Podheads. We have the podheads.com. We have everywhere on social media at Podheads Webshow. And like you said, we're growing because of you. I mean, you guys were the ones that told me to about a lot of the gear, a lot of the technical stuff that you use that's kind of helped me because I'm not tech savvy at all. So, being able to call you and say, man, how'd you do this? Man, yeah, that's exactly, you did I might've inspired you to start, but you inspired me to actually get the vision to be able to put out the way I want to. So, I'd still be doing it the old way if it wasn't for you guys. So,
hey,
definitely, man.
Either
definitely
way,
awesome.
I know your new way. It's more fun. It's I know you're liking it, and it looks really good. The production's it's clean, but it was always clean before, man. Honest to God, I know that you guys were putting together a lot with a little, and it was really cool how you guys did it. But it was, like I said, it was because you guys love what you're doing, and you could see it, and that's what made me.
That's
excited.
what we did. We were producing it all with not much, with one microphone, sitting in between us, with our phones, same exact way. We've upgraded each other, and our upgrades help to see you upgrade, and you know what I mean. But it just keeps going, you know what I mean. That's a keep growing mentality, and it's reciprocal. Again,
that's what Bill Schomburg always says. #TWS, and it's been in my head a lot lately because of him. And I do believe it's a two-way street. Every relationship, a real relationship, is a two-way street. It's not just giving. You're going to get back, and it's just the way it works. It's always going to be, hey, we're helping each other out, and that's the thing that Frankie brings to the table. With Frank the Tank, he does that with his family. He does it with us, man. I love that, man. And starting that podcast, I'm glad you did, because it's great for you. I see what it's done for your confidence. I mean, your girl even said straight up, when you made that decision, and she straight up said, I told him he needs to do it, and I believe in it, and she believes in it. That's when your girl's sitting there, and your fiance, I should say, your future wife, when she's sitting there and she's telling you, I believe in you, you should do this full time.
You can do anything,
dude. You can't ask for more support than that, dude. That's hard to find. When you find that, which he did, you hold on to that, and you love it, and you nurture that, and you fertilize that lawn, right? Make sure that's good to go. But no, that's great stuff, man. And I'm glad that you led to that. And so when you get there, I know that we've influenced you, but you talked about the conversations you had. But let me just ask you, who really influenced you to step away from your being a VA employee to doing your own business? What was the biggest influencer, mentor, or somebody that helped you say, you know what, let's do this and let's go take the next level? Man,
that's tough. That's a good question. There's so many factors, I guess. If I'm being honest, right, I started so that I could put more time into my podcast and take away from from working for somebody else, helping somebody else or an organization accomplish their dreams. I was miserable. I was miserable getting up, driving to work every day. I had a truck, and I could see landscaping companies just driving every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, every day. I'm on my way to work. Yeah. And just trailer after trailer after sticker. And sometimes I'd see a dude driving a Jeep with a trailer or a van with a trailer. And I'm like, man, these guys can do this shit. I feel like, excuse me. If these guys can do this, I feel like I can.
Freely, my friend.
And so I started thinking about my future. I was so, satisfied, right? Complacent, working for the VA. I've been there going on 8 years. And in my head before that, it was, even though I was not really happy, it was like, you know what? I'll be able to retire from this and have a decent life. And so that's the plan. And then I started thinking, right? Learning a little bit more about finances and just life, and just started thinking, man. And then I started thinking about the other side, man, I got 20 more years of this. And I'm like, dude. And maybe I retire comfortable, maybe. Right. I started thinking I have to do something. I have to do something to build wealth outside of, at least in a place where it's not controlled by other people. I didn't like the idea anymore of somebody else controlling my growth potential. And so I said, you know what, screw this. I'm gonna get me a trailer and a lawnmower, and I'm gonna do this better than my competitors. And so we tried to really infuse a lot of things that the landscaping business in Florida, at least, was missing. Professionalism, the right attitude, communication. And I left my job and I haven't looked back since. So that's been growing. It's provided me the time and the money to be able to do things that I want to do, put out the vision that I want for the podcast. So, so far everything's really going well, but honestly, it was really strangers, man. Just finding, sometimes you have to do that, right? Find inspiration, find it out in the world. Just seeing that other people can do it and just saying, you know what, I'm just going to take a leap, man. I'm just going to try this. So
dude, taking a leap, it's Lou sent me a video like about a month ago, Steve Harvey's video and him talking when he's doing Family Feud like he always does. He has this huge speech. He's talking about things. He's talking about people and people who don't take the leap. It's the difference. You're right on the edge. You might even have 1 foot off, but you got to jump both feet. You have to take the leap. You have to just believe and have faith and just jump. And when you jump, sometimes the parachute opens right away, but most of the time you're going to hit a few rocks on the way down. You might stumble, you might bop, you might boom, boom. But eventually, and he straight up said that stuff, but he goes, but at the end of the day, what's going to happen is if you keep going and you keep trying, you jump with both feet, that parachute will open. And when it does open, whether it's the beginning or at the end, it's a smooth flight from there. You start growing, you start learning, but you went through all this stumble and these roadblocks that you had to go into, but then that parachute just floats you there, and now you're there, and you understand how to control it, and you land safely, right? And that's key. You have to do that for real growth, and you did that, man. That's what I'm saying. You influenced me. I'm still, I'm doing my thing, and I love my job. I'm not saying I'm leaving. I'm just saying I love my job, but there's things that I want to do in life that eventually I am going to have to jump with both feet. And when I do jump with both feet, I know that the parachute's going to open. But it is scary. And I know that what you did, that's inspiring, man. That's super inspiring. It's incredibly
scary. And I can't say enough how scary that is. So anybody that is contemplating that, know that you're not alone when you're up late at night thinking about that. I spent months. For about 6 months, I did both jobs. So I worked 7 days a week, close to 14, 16 hours a day. Cause I'd leave my other job, go hop in the, grab my trailer and go cut lawns. And it was killing me. And I was that's when I got to the point where I just got to do this, but I lost sleep many nights. What if I give this up, I'm not going to be able to get it back, my kids and insurance and just so much, but you got to believe in yourself, man. You said you believe that parachute is going to open and knowing that, you can take it. It also helps to have the support system, right? It helps to have good friends around that tell you can do this. It helps to have my fiance who said, I got your back.
Those are the friends, like when you hit a rock, they're that air bubble that makes it soft. They're that cushion for you when you do hit a rock, that having that support softens that blow. It does. And that's what, to me, what support is. They're the airbag, right? They're the airbag that keeps you from getting hurt. They're the that you feel it, but they're going to save your life, right? They're going to make sure you keep moving forward. So it's great to have that support, man. I'm proud of you, bro. Keep doing your thing. It's going to be amazing for you. Looking forward to what he does in the future.
Yep. Real quick shout out, Russ, man.
Russ says,
look at all that sunshine. 3 men bringing the light to the world. Love
Beautiful.
You,
Russ, I know you're out there in Arizona bringing light over there. There ain't no doubt it's hot up in that mug. I'm hearing about those temperatures in Arizona right now, bro. I feel bad for you guys.
That's other level hot.
But hey, listen, when the heat comes, all it does is it cooks up some good stuff. So just remember that. So
you got to get the heat up if you're going to brew some solutions.
Coffee, you can't brew coffee. Well, you can cold brew. Cold brew's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Slow steep, delicious. Cold brew is fuego.
DJ says, nice change of scenery. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Want to do something a little different.
Not to mention,
he's talking about Frankie. He's talking about
I hear you,
he's
man.
talking about Frankie.
I hear you, man.
Yeah, you don't get scenery like this in Florida. That's just so beautiful out here, man.
It is nice.
Every day that I've been out here, I've come out. The first thing that I've done every day I've been out here is I've come out onto this porch and I've just taken a minute and looked out and just enjoyed it. Just
enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's somebody saying that from Florida talking about Kentucky. It's perspective, folks. And just remember that, like, wherever you're at, I don't care if you think it's New York City and you're in the middle of Queens, right? Or you're in the middle of Brooklyn and it's just rough in whatever spot you're at. It's still beautiful. Mm-hmm. For some people will see that because you live there. But for me, I could walk through there and be like, this is cool. I love these buildings. I love the way these streets are laid out. I love this. I love that, right? But then somebody who lives there is like, man, I see this every day. What the heck?
Yeah.
Right. Like I go down to Florida and I'm all like, oh, look at these palm trees. Look at this and that. And then Frankie's like, okay.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, I've been here a long time. No big deal. You know,
that's why I don't want to move to Florida, because I still want that to be part of the excitement when I get there. Get off the plane and you walk out, you start seeing the palm trees. All right, I've changed where I am. You know what I mean?
It feels like
this
vacation.
is beautiful. I love the bluegrass. It is an incredibly gorgeous countryside to drive through and roll through. I mean, Florida is so boring until you get to a place, right? And you know, the palm trees aren't everywhere. They're planted. Everybody, you all understand that, right? They're not. They don't really just show up there. They get put out there. And so when you're in Florida and you're riding to get someplace far away, like you're just seeing nothing but the swampland. You're seeing, you know, just nothing forever. At least in Kentucky, we get some of the scenery, some of the hills, some of the mountains, but the landscape across the country, there's always something good to pull out of wherever you're at. Absolutely, and the thing about Florida is that it's still the destination more Americans are trying to get to, right? Everybody's coming through there trying to
retired
find a great time there.
I swear there's more New Yorkers in Florida than there's Floridians.
Dude, you go to a ball game, there's more Yankees fans in there than Rays fans.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yes, it is little New York.
Yeah. Beauty isn't the eye of the beholder. You have to find beauty everywhere you go. You got to look for it, because today in today's world, it's hard. We focus on the media, politics, everybody. We focus on the negative. That's what sells, really. You know,
it does.
So you got to find positivity. Surround yourself with positive people, man. Yeah,
love positivity.
You got to be looking for it. And just like, I mean, I love that you said that, because if you're looking for it, that's what you're going to find. You know, if your heart is looking for the negative, you're going to find negative. You're going to find negative in people. You're going to find negative in your situation. You're going to find a reason to complain. You could have the greatest setup in the world, healthy family, home, cars, all that stuff, a bit of debt, right? And you be focused on your debt and not count the blessing that you have, when remembering that the person under a bridge doesn't have debt, right? The person that doesn't have a home doesn't have any of the things that you're all worried about, right?
100%.
And adjusting what it is that you're looking for means that you're going to find different stuff. If you're trying to find the best inside of somebody, regardless of what you like or don't like about them, but you're trying to find something, that you're going to extract that out of them. And it does depend on the filter that you use on how good your extract's going to be, right? No different than brewing a cup of coffee, no different than rolling one up, right? And how that filter goes in, what you extract out of the oils, what you extract out of that piece of what's organic and what grows. And we as people have all grown with different things that have influenced us and made us be what we are. There's different challenges that we get, right? I can't grow an orange tree in Kentucky. You know what I mean? That's the sad part here, right? I can't grow my mangoes. I can't grow my lemons. I can't grow the avocados here in Kentucky. I wish I could. But it's all affected by, again, we'll go back to the root system, right? And building those things. So there are some positives, some negatives. In your world, what has been the thing that has been the hardest lesson you've had to learn in order to get to doing what it is that you're doing now and pushing through with it as you inhale this glorious day, as you know, your family's here unified with another family, you know what I mean? And feeling that, what is it that you get to sit and sip on and say, man, I got through that and I'm here. I'm still here. I'm so glad I've learned that.
Yeah. You know, honestly, it's actually really kind of what you guys were talking about, perspective and attitude. Biggest thing is just kind of trying to be positive, trying to have a good attitude. I got so caught up in the negative that it was just it was hard to enjoy life. It's hard to enjoy life when you look for the negative, when you complain about everything. And then it starts, you're manifesting that same negativity, right? Things you start thinking, bad things are happening to me. Yeah. And so I mean, everything from stubbing your toe to losing cash or messing something up.
No doubt.
I felt like it was all happening to me. You know, damn it, I've got the worst luck. Hey, Jesus, I can't catch a break.
Right.
You know, and it was really just a matter of, I don't know exactly what the shift was, but it was really just a matter of shifting my attitude because it was just a miserable existence, just constantly thinking negatively.
Self-inflicted, you know, that's
Big
the thing.
time,
Everything is self-inflicted. The thing is, folks, there's one thing you have control over, that 100% control over. It's what's going on right here. You can literally change. You can be in the worst mood and instantly within a second change that. It's all up to you. A lot of people, they hold on to grudges for too long for no reason. They hold on to failures for too long for no reason. They hold on to people's treating them wrong. It just happens, man. And you have to understand that you got to have empathy for them. You got to look in their seat. We were talking about bullying, and bullies, a lot of times you find that they have worse issues than the person they're dealing with.
Right.
They just try to pick on somebody because they don't have any other way to feel better about themselves. And at the end of the day, it actually doesn't make them feel better about themselves. At the end of the day, what it does is it makes them feel worse, which turns them into bigger monsters. It's just something that you turn into, but you can instantly change that mentality in 2 seconds. It's as simple as just being like, I'm done, and just, hey, I'm good. All right. Just smile,
right?
Get up and dance, shake your booty a little bit, have some fun, make a joke, watch your favorite movie, watch your favorite video, call your best friend, somebody, talk to them, get in that mood, call somebody that's going to pump you up, and with the intention, say, hey, look, man, I'm calling you because I'm down right now, bro. I'm down right now, sis. Whatever it is, hit them up. They will help you, and that's the thing about you. You start to find out in this world, a lot of people don't want to ask for help. I'm one. I'm one of those ones. I like to do everything by myself. I like to make sure that it's all. Oh, I did it. I did that. And to a fault. I mean, in my workplace, with all kinds of things, and it just becomes that way sometimes because you just be like, I don't want to bother them, but at the same time, you're like, you should.
Right. Sometimes you got to let people have the opportunity to help you. Right? They want that opportunity in their life, and I don't want to be burdensome, and I know you don't want to be burdensome. Right? You don't want to be a load on somebody else, but sometimes that's we have to posture ourselves to be served in order to be better servants, to have to show up and have the hospitality given to us, and then it also comes back when we want it, when we show up someplace. Opening your door to your very intimate places of your life becomes something that gets shared as it gets shared. So as I let you into my life, no different than you trying to reach somebody that's been abused or hurt before. Hey, listen, I've been where you are. Here's my pain. This is what I've struggled through, and this is how I've come out. You're way more likely to bring healing to somebody, whether you're leading them or you're mentoring them, whatever the case is, if you start to release to them how human you are, and then you'll see them reciprocate that too. In your relationships. I mean, just having the conversation, whether it's on the show or whether it's with a client or whatever the case is, it's letting people into knowing I'm a person that wants to solve your problem and I want to help you, and let's build our trust off of that, not off of what we don't agree with. Right? So many times we build an identity off of what we're not, and we never get the chance to discover what we are because we're so focused on not being something else. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's exactly where I've been, kind of living in fear, like that's exactly where my head was at. And much better now though, thinking just like I said, being around positive people, seeing you guys and the way you guys are with the people that you are.
But you have a supportive spouse, your children love what you're doing. They're looking at you like, man, my dad is awesome, and
taking it easy on myself. I was always my worst critic.
We all are. Everybody is your own worst critic. That's the thing.
And that's okay. And the thing is, that's okay.
That's great.
Because we should be the ones that are best in line to fix us. I know when I look in the mirror and I'm not happy with what I see, I look back and I'm like, only you can fix this, dude. You know what I mean? Only you can get back in shape,
and that's what's so great about life is all the challenges, all the failures. But we've talked about obviously your why. We've talked about what got you into podcasting and taking the opportunity to start your own business. We talked about your people who've influenced you, and even strangers influence you. I love that. That's probably the first time we've heard that, right? And that's a pretty cool answer. It's a great perspective because we get influenced by a lot of different people you don't even know. You see a video of somebody, you're like, oh, that was cool. Influences you, gets you motivated, right? So you just always look for that. See somebody with their kids and you watch them from afar and you see how great they are or whatever. You're like, man, that's pretty awesome. I want to try to do that with my kids, right? There's so many things that we get from people that we don't notice or we don't recognize, and that's cool, man. I love that you brought that up. But we talked about failures, we talked about what they did and how you learn from them, but let's talk about your greatest reward. That's the fifth question. The fifth question is, what is something from all the things that you've done up to this point that has been considered to you your greatest reward for everything that you've done?
Easy. Having the opportunity, I guess, putting myself in a place where I have the opportunity to I'm not there where I want to be yet, but having the opportunity to spend the time with my why, right? My why was spending time with my kids and my family.
I love it.
And so the greatest reward has been being able to do vacations like this, right? Being able to experience things with my kids, because I worked hard, being able to have the time.
Somebody's plane flying by, folks. This is what happens when you're outdoors, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Plane flying by, a little propeller plane. Nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful day to fly. Looks like.
Yeah, it's a perfect day for that.
But yeah, having the biggest reward, it really has being able to surround myself with love, having the time to do that, because we, like I said, like you guys said, we get so caught up in just the hustle and the bustle, the everyday life, that being able to take some time and sit with my family, sit with my fiance, go on vacations.
Yes.
And whether it's completely free, just sitting around in our living room, or being out here in Kentucky, having a blast, just being able to do that, being able to get home at a decent time and sit and have dinner with them, and being able to talk to my kids and experience the way they think, and just really, really having the time to do that, rather than just being able to go through the motions. All right, go to school, wash up, eat dinner. All right, good night.
That's stuff that we were raised like, and it's nothing wrong with that. We're a different generation. We see things. Our parents raised us a certain way. We raise our kids a certain way. I believe that our generation raised kids very well. I think that this next generation that's coming up are great kids. Like this whole new generation, I love them. And I think that they have a new way of thinking. I think has a lot to do with it. And I got to say, to us as parents, man, we've really completely did a different formula than our parents gave us, right? So we educated ourselves. We were more informed. We have the internet to look things up to see if this is really true, not just assuming things. We saw, so it's a beautiful thing what we're doing. Our kids are going to be able to do things that are amazing beyond what we could ever imagine. But we are once, when they go back, they're going to talk about people who've influenced them. Your sons are going to be like, my dad did that, man. My dad taught me to take risks, sometimes you got to take risks to get the great reward. Matter of fact, that's how you get all great rewards. Nothing is really handed to you. There's no such thing as overnight successes. None of that stuff. I don't care who you are. They all worked hard. Michael Jordan worked harder than anybody out there. Kobe Bryant worked harder than anybody out there. Elon Musk works harder than anybody out there. Jeff Bezos works harder than anybody out there. You know why? Because look where they're at, and this is where they want to go. And guess what they're doing right now? Working harder than anybody out there, even with being on top. Even Michael Jordan, when he was 3 championships in, he was like, nah, man, I'm going to retire. But it wasn't because he didn't want to play ball. He had family. His dad just passed. He was like, he had different dreams. I want to try to play baseball. I always wanted to. Why not? I'm the greatest athlete on the planet right now. Anybody will put me on their team because I'll draw. And he did. And he came out and he tried it. And he realized, okay, I'm not a baseball player. I'm a basketball player. He came back and guess what he did? 3 more championships, right? But he kept working. He never stopped. To this day, he's a businessman, billionaire.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur, love it, man. And it's just constant growth, man. And that's what your kids see, and that's what they're going to see, that's possible in life. And you're just beginning. I'm proud of you, bro. I love what you're doing, folks. Man, make sure you guys go check out his show. My God, it's on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. It's on Facebook Live. You can check it out. Where else is YouTube also?
Everywhere, all Twitch, Facebook Live, YouTube, Instagram, all social media platforms. I mean, we're on iHeartRadio.
Yes,
we're on Apple Podcasts, Google. Pretty much everywhere you get your podcast, you can look for the Podheads, Podheads, the Podheads Webshow. There's a couple other guys out there, but we're the Podheads, and we're the only ones doing it like we're doing. I think that whether you're in the cannabis community or not, I think that you can find something for you 100%. On our show and really enjoy it.
His show brings value. It brings edutainment. You'll have fun. It's all for you. It's not about them, and that's what I love about them most. It's not a show about look how cool we are. No, it's more like, hey, let's talk about these subjects. Let's talk about gun control, which is a hot topic, right? Let's talk about, let's talk about these states. Let's talk about different products that are coming out in this world. What's safe, what's not. Let's talk about, what's good and what states are getting ready to open up and why it's great for that state, how this could bring money for you, how you could get in it. But one thing it will do is it'll influence you, folks. I watched it. I was on it, influenced me, made me want to be more. I got to see what they're doing. It'll make you feel good about yourself. You're like, man, these people are awesome. They are normal human beings that are doing amazing things. But when I say normal, they're superhumans, right? Because the superhumans are the ones who do this. The difference between Frankie and you guys, anybody out there who's even thinking about doing something similar, like a podcast or just quitting your job to start your own business, or, traveling to another state you've never been to, you just got to do it.
Do it.
You got to take that step. You got to jump both feet, folks. Make sure you do it, and you guys will fucking love it forever. I promise. I not threw an F word out there. You guys won't hear me cuss much, but it's true. You will, man, and you'll say just like that. You'll effing love it, bro. And when you do, you'll feel great about yourself, and you're gonna stumble. You're gonna have roadblocks. It's gonna feel like it's futile. Like, oh my God, why am I doing this? But at the end of the day, you push through that. Once you get through that, you're gonna feel better because you had that struggle and yet you overcame, and you're at the other side of that whole tunnel where the light is all over you now. Just like me, Lou, and Frank the Tanker out here right now in the sunlight, enjoying it, basking in like we're Superman, gaining our energy, right? Absolutely, that vitamin D is what we all need. So folks, keep loving, keep growing, and don't stop, man, because that's what it's about. We had Frank the Tank, man, Francisco Acevedo. If you guys looking him up on if you're looking him up on Facebook, but if you're looking him up on LinkedIn, or excuse me, Instagram's his spot. He's on there quite a bit. Frank the Tank. You can't miss it. You'll see him. It'll, everything's there. Man, I appreciate you for being on the show today, bro.
Thank you so much. Yeah, great time.
Is there anything you want to say before we bounce?
You know what? You guys are awesome, man. The Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Like I said, I definitely am looking forward to years from now, you guys are going to be running the game, like I said. And it might not even take that long, but I sometimes I sit and I watch you guys and I say, my God, these guys are killing it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see, what you guys do to the business, to the game, changing the like I said, we're on two different platforms, but the same mission, right? Trying to change people's views on something that has a terrible stigma.
That's it, man.
And really helping people, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's the
entertaining them, man. And
stigma slaying.
And that's what we do.
Our fellow man. In any capacity, it doesn't matter what the conversation is. You can make it positive. You can make it uplifting and upshifting, whether it gets you energized or it gets you high. Either way, we want to make sure we take you to a new level, and it makes other people do the same thing.
Sure.
Take yourself to a new level. Take the people around you to another level. You've taken us to a new level. We're out here outside. We've never done a podcast outside before, right? That's way to step it up.
Hey, this shout out to Sean Welsh. Hey, look what we
did,
outside,
dog. Right? It's
outside.
not Friday.
Car business
it's not
better,
Friday,
right?
Hey,
we out here, bro.
We're out here.
We're doing it outside, bro.
That's right.
Hey, shout out to you. But no, folks, we appreciate you all for watching, tuning in. For you guys watching it on the replay, you guys see how to get a hold of him. Make sure you reach out to Frankie. Watch his show. It's awesome. I'm telling you. If you don't like it, just try it once, just like he told his son. We're going down the zip line. After the first one, if you don't like it, we'll stop.
Yeah.
Right? But usually when you watch it, you go down the first time, you're like, oh, that was fun, man. I want to do it again. And that's what his show's like. And make sure you guys check it out. We appreciate you all for tuning in. I'm Fred Lenars, the Subprime Hero.
And I'm Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
Frank the Tank from the Podheads Webshow.
That's right. Yo. And folks, you've been on the web show.
You've been on the web podcast.
I messed it all up.
All those
but that's
things.
okay.
Thank you for brewing solutions with us.
You know what
we're so excited to go do your day. We're gonna go do ours. Have fun. We love you all. Peace.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much for jumping in. Everybody.
At your boy.
Hey, we out. Thank you again for our sponsors. Thank you, Dealership Toolkit. Thank you, Think Ad Group. All you incredible solutionaries. We love you all. You guys are the best. Thank you for putting this message of positivity out there. We out.